For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest all the way from Finland. We have Mauri Dark. How's it going today, Mauri?
Yeah, hi everybody.
Nice
How are
to
you doing?
have you. I'm excited to sit down and chat. I was listening to your album last night and this morning while I was kind of getting ready for the podcast, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So first off, I want to thank you for giving us time to sit down and chat. But for the people that are just getting introduced to you or aren't really familiar with who you are or your music, what got you into music?
Well, at the very beginning, I was about 8 years old when I heard the band Kiss and with their makeups and stuff like that, and it was really exciting to a young kid. And then I started playing drums right away, and we already then formed some sort of bands and making very basic songs like No Nuclear War, No. And then at 16, I got like seriously into playing with bands, drums mainly then. And at 18, I started to play guitar and making songs. And from there, I have made, this is my 9th full-length album and about 25 years of musicianship and around 500 shows.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of history.
Gotcha. And so you've released music in various forms as bands, but is this your first full-length album as you by yourself?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
This is where I recorded everything myself and played all the instruments.
Awesome. So the album is Dreams of a Middle-Aged Man. It dropped back in December. What's kind of the story behind the album?
Well, it started kind of 2016. There was a lot of life-altering changes in my life. I just broke up from a 7-year relationship, and my mother had terminal cancer, 3+ cancer, so it was like a death sentence for her. And then I have done 5 albums with metal duo Mustons, and so we had just ended the 5th album tour, and I started making some sort of songs, and it was like singer-songwriter folk stuff, and then it started, and then it went on, and all kinds of things happened in my life, and my mother passed away, and I got married, and then I had my firstborn daughter, and I was making these songs that while and starting to record demos for it.
Gotcha.
And it started from there.
Awesome. So this has been a work in progress since you said 2016?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I guess the question is about like releasing it during the pandemic. Was that always kind of the plan that you were going to release it in December, or did you originally want to release it sooner and then the pandemic, like how did the pandemic kind of affect your
Yeah.
release strategy for this album?
Well, I didn't plan the pandemic to come
Yeah.
in between the album project, but I think it was ready in March,
Okay.
just when the COVID thing started in Finland also. And I just thought I have to get this album out, even if I can't play them live really soon, but I just have to get it out. I'm 42 years old now, so I'm past midlife soon.
I gotcha. So it sounds really good. Like the album sounds really good, and I mean it's just unfortunate that it had to come out during the pandemic because you can't get out and play. Because I have a feeling like the entire album sounds really good live. Like it, so I feel like people are missing kind of a part of it because I was watching the clip that the video that you had on Fox or Austin Fox
Yeah,
Austin. Yep. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And just the live aspect of it all sounded really good and really full and really rich. And so it like I feel like especially like was so I guess the next question is was there ever a thought about just releasing them as singles just to kind of keep them out there instead of releasing it as a full album or
well, I'm that kind of old school guy that I listen only to albums and
okay.
mainly CDs. So I'm kind of used to the album structure, it
Mhm.
having like 10 songs or something and like a dramatic ongoing from the
Yeah.
first song to the last song.
Yeah.
So I have always made albums and that's what I wanted to make now.
Gotcha. So are these available on hard copy at all or is it all digital streaming right now?
Well, I put here,
Oh, the vinyl. Yes, I did.
there's CD
Uh-huh.
for it and then there's the vinyl version. This one that just got out
Nice.
last week. It's my first vinyl at 42.
Hey, that's vinyl is making I love vinyl, first of all. Vinyl is if you can afford to press it, if you've got the following, if you've got all the, all the right ingredients to make it happen, vinyl is an amazing way to distribute music because it's like
Yeah,
that tangible piece of art in your hand. It's amazing. So,
yeah. And I
um,
think they passed CD sales at some point with vinyl.
yeah, I think so. Like, just because vinyl, like, I don't know what it is about vinyl, but it's just like you have that tangible piece of art, and then if you want, you can still go stream it, like whatever. But like when I go to shows, I don't I don't want to pay $10 or whatever for your download card. I'd rather pay $30 for the vinyl.
Yeah,
Yeah. So no, I get it.
yeah. I always enjoy the album art piece because you can put the lyrics and stuff like that in here.
Yeah.
So you can
But
read it while you're listening. That's a big part of the thing. And these bags come really nice.
oh, nice. That's awesome.
And with vinyl, you always have to like turn the album around so there comes a natural break in between.
Hmm.
So you separate the thing into A B side. You
Yeah.
have to also think about it, how it goes and how the songs go there.
Yeah, I got you. So, what went into the song selection process for this album? Like, were you specifically writing towards an album, or did you just kind of start writing, and then eventually it was like, oh, we've got enough for an album here? Like, what kind of went into that process of?
Yeah, I was kind of early on thinking about an album to make an album, and like I said, a lot of things happen in my life, and for me, it has always been like the life kind of writes the songs. So whatever happens in your life, it gets into the songs, and you start thinking about a lot of things, and then you just start working towards an album. There wasn't many extra songs, so
Okay,
kind of all of them I put into this album. They were kind of different songs that I made before.
okay, gotcha. So everything there, you basically were writing specifically for the album, and there wasn't much extra songs that just didn't make the cut or whatever. Is that
Yeah, there was like three or four like unfinished pieces, but
gotcha? Was
that's
it
not.
because did those 3 or 4 not make it because they just didn't fit the feel of the album, or what do you think it was the reason why they didn't make the album?
I think I never finished them because
Okay,
I make the songs. I make them quite long. It might take even years to polish them and arrange them and add details and add lyrics to them. And these kind of 10 that I put in here just felt the right combination.
gotcha, gotcha. And so the album's out now. Are you working on any visual components for the album, like music
Yeah,
videos or?
yeah, yeah. We made music video with director Vesa Ranta, who is mainly known for uh, Nordic metal videos.
Mhm.
So there was the music video for the title song "Dreams of a Middle-Aged Man," and then I also made lyrics video for the opening song "Poison Woman" because I'm with my second profession. I'm visual artist, and I've also worked with videos and every kind of images and graphic design.
Oh wow, awesome! That's really cool. Um, as far as the music video goes, what kind of how much creative input did you have on that, or do you? Is it like was it your idea and then you handed it over to the producer, or like how did that kind of process work out for you?
Well, we kind of worked on the story quite long. It's a story about an aging couple and their like growing up daughter leaving home. So we made a lot effort to the story to make it like fit with the song. It's a bit different angle than the song, but it like fits perfectly. And we looked all the locations. Uh, the director was in holiday in Norway, and I wanted to have some aerial motorcycle photos or motorcycle videos, and he made it with the drone thing in
Uh,
Norway. So there's really beautiful landscape from Senja Island, Norway. And then we also shot in burnt forest in Oulu. There was this big area of forest that was burnt, and so the background is kind of black brownish. It's really nice looking video.
awesome. Nice. Yeah, it's I was just kind of as you were talking about it, I was pulling it up and kind of watching through the preview, and it's got a real cinematic look to it. Like it's just
Yeah,
it is really cool. And so that music video dropped back in before the album came out. I'm trying to do math here in my head, but
yeah. It's November 16, if I remember right.
yeah. And so that was before the album dropped back in December. Um,
Yeah.
what's now that the album's kind of out and it's been this culmination of 4 or 5 years of work, what's kind of going through your head right now that the full album is out?
That's a very good question. Well, I've been working a lot with the promotion now
Mm,
for the album promotion, so I really haven't had the time to think how I feel or
yeah.
anything like that. It's just the album, and I put it down. I'm really happy to find out that people are finding the album. I just passed 50K Spotify streams with the album, so I'm really
Mhm.
happy that people have found the music,
Yeah. I was looking.
especially in USA.
Yeah, because like I mean, I can only see on the front end because it'll tell you how many streams or whatever the song has, and I was really impressed by the first two songs, the first two singles, and how many streams it had got, and I was like, wow, that's really amazing. Like, so the fact that people are fine. Do you have you noticed a any like crossover from your previous like do you have fans that that just kind of followed your entire career that followed you from band to band, or did you or have you found like doing this solo project you've had to build a whole new fan base?
Well, it's both.
Hmm.
The old fans have followed me from other groups. A lot of people in Finland that listen to metal music also like this type of music to rest their ears to. And then I got this manager, MTS Management, Michael Stover from US, and he has helped a lot to gain new fans in from especially from the US. I
Gotcha.
think 33% of my listeners are from US.
Oh wow, 33%. That's big. That's very big. Um, so the album out now. What's the plan kind of moving forward? Like I know you said you're focusing heavy on promotion, but are you already working towards a new body of work, or like what's kind of the plan moving forward?
Well, I hope to release a fourth single, maybe even fifth, and making videos for this album because it's really a lot of work and it's good album
Mhm.
and good songs, and people usually just find the singles because if you look at the streams, they have gone like 30K and 18K on the singles, and then the rest of the songs are about 100. So I probably release a couple of singles more or one,
Yeah.
and then I hope someday I get to play live because I've done that all my life, playing
Yeah.
live, and I miss it so much, meeting real people in a real
Yeah.
place.
So, what's kind of the feel in Finland right now? Are you guys starting to open up a little bit with live shows, or is it all just not happening?
It's just not happening. There was just new government limitations, and every live event is down now. So
Gotcha.
every like professional musician that do it for work have been without work almost a year now. So it's
Oh
really a
wow.
tough situation for the whole industry.
Oh yeah. That's because I know it varies from country to country, state to state, and especially
Yeah,
here in the U.S. Like here in Texas, it's interesting because I'll get one weekend, I'll get an email saying, "Hey, here's a list of all the shows happening this weekend," and then it'll go like a month, and I won't get a single email. So it's like, all right, what? I really don't even know what's going on at this point.
yeah,
Like, you one
it's
week
on and
there's
off.
30 shows, and then the next weekend it's like, oh, we can't tell anybody where the shows are at. It's like, okay, whatever, I'll find them myself. But
Yeah,
I think at least here in Texas, things are starting to open up a little bit. We're getting smaller venued shows, and it's nice to get out when you can, you know.
yeah,
Um, so one of the things that we like to do here on Live and Amplified is we like to pass on knowledge to younger musicians. Um, just like if they're getting ready to make that next step, whether it's going to a recording studio or make that first step, whatever that first step may be. What what advice do you have for a young musician that's getting ready to make that first step out into this crazy thing we call the music business?
that's a good question. I answered this on some other interview that I can't remember what I said, but of course the first thing you have to do is like get the music right and play as much as you can, rehearse, get good instrument. You much more need one good instrument than 10 crappy ones.
Mhm.
Play live as much as you can and play with real people. You learn, play all kinds of music and try to like kind of figure out who you are yourself when making music. Don't over imitate anyone because that's what really counts in the end, the personality and the quality of music.
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
are the main things to concentrate.
Yeah. And I think people can pick up on authenticity in your music
Yeah,
and
yeah,
your
hope so.
personality. So now that's perfect answer. So for you personally, who are some of your influences musically? Like, who are you listening to growing up? Who influenced you musically?
Well, I was a teenager in the 90s, so most of my music have come from there, from the grunge era and
Yeah.
things like that. Nirvana's Nevermind came out when I was 14, I think. And a lot of grunge bands, Alice in Chains, all of the acoustic stuff, and Dirt, and Fate No More, King for a Day, Full for a Lifetime, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, all of their albums, Typo Negative, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, Neil Young, Tom Waits, Johnny Cash, American Recordings, Leonard Cohen, Nick Drake. That's about it. The Doors.
Yeah, gotcha. That's awesome. I had a feeling I should have gotten my sound engineer because every band you just listened is bands that he talks about on a pretty consistent basis. Because
Yeah,
there's about a 10-year age gap difference between me and my sound engineer. Like I'm 33, he's 43. And
yeah.
so like there's a little bit of a crossover on stuff that we grew up on,
Hmm.
but not much of a crossover. So like a lot of like I mean I obviously I know who like Nirvana and a lot of those bands are, but it just wasn't stuff that I was listening to growing up
Yeah,
in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's
yeah.
um how do you think they've influenced or impacted your musical styles?
Well, I thought about it just a couple of days ago that the music that I kind of listened, it's most of them is like really genuine, like honest kind of stuff where the singer kind of pours his heart out and really writes about his thoughts and emotions, and most of the music is like that. And then there's also this, like, I enjoy 70s music a lot because it has kind of special vibe in it and a kind of mystic feeling too on some of the music.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
What did I answer to your question?
Yeah, no, it was perfect. That was good. Um, and then what's kind of the independent scene like in Finland?
Well, there are still kind of lot of bands.
Mm,
The rap genre is also quite big in here, but there are a lot of players, but less places to play live and less places for small bands. They have the thing in Turku, where I live in southwest Finland, called Rock Academy, where they like give education to young kids with bands. It
mm-hmm.
has been really good. I don't know what happened, but they brought, I don't know if you know the band Wasp from US.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I'm not like overly familiar with their
Yeah,
music.
the guitarist for some reason, Douglas Blair, moved to Turku and he's also educating people there. So the young kids have got a lot of possibilities with the music.
Right. And of course, the pandemic didn't help the lack of venues being available because I'm sure,
No, no, and many of them are going down now.
yeah, that's what's the like, are you guys allowed to in a in normal circumstances, are you guys allowed to go out and like busk and do that sort of stuff, or like what's the vibe?
What you mean?
Like playing street performing, playing acoustically like on the streets or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's allowed without permission here. I
Oh,
haven't done in a while, but there's a lot of that happening in here.
okay.
People play in the streets. It's nice.
Got it. Gotcha. Because I know it's different country to country. Some countries it's like you can try, but you're gonna get ran off or like whatever. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, uh, that's cool. Who are some upcoming Finland bands? Like just this is just me personally asking at this point. Who are some upcoming Finland bands that you're really digging that's out there right now?
Oh, good question. I don't listen to a lot of Finnish bands, I have to say.
Okay.
One metal band that is really good is Swallow the Sun. They've also been in the US, I think.
Okay.
Nightwish is pretty popular in everywhere. I
Gotcha.
think in the US too. And what else? I don't know.
Okay.
Everybody is like
Uh,
everything shut down now, so I
Yeah, I
haven't
got
read
you.
any
So you
news.
don't even know who's playing anymore. Like, because that was the first thing that I noticed was how many bands just kind of called it quits. Like
Yeah,
3 days into the pandemic, it was like, I mean, now it's kind of like, okay, you were right, but 3 days in, it's like this thing might be over in 2 weeks. You don't know, like, and you guys are already calling it quits. Like, but
yeah,
you could the same thing could be said about a lot of the venues, but it just shows how close to the red line that venues operate because if they go 3 days where they can't open, yeah. So
yeah. And it's really hard for the bands that do it professionally because the live playing is the only source of income, and now it has been taken away.
yeah, absolutely. On a or in a normal year, how often do you usually play shows?
Well, it has varied a lot depending on the year.
Hmm.
There was some break in between, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 shows or
Okay,
something like that, or
gotcha.
even less. So I have always had like two professions. I'm visual artist as well by profession, and I make public art, so that's where the money comes from.
Hmm.
So I'm an entrepreneur as well. So
Nice.
music has always been the place where I kind of put my money that I got,
I
like every hobby, but it's like profession for me as well. But it takes a lot of money and time to
Yeah,
make it these days.
Yeah, hopefully one day the music will take off enough where that can become your profession, and the money you put in will come back.
Yeah, yeah, it's the streaming industry has to change.
Yeah. Um, where's one place that you'd really like to play live? Like city, state, country?
Well, I would like to tour the US because the place doesn't matter so much in when doing. I haven't played in the US. I have played in Europe in all kinds of places, and the main thing for live performance is like the communal thing you get with the audience when
Hmm.
everybody digs the music and you kind of share something. So that's the like the best live scenario. So the place doesn't matter that much as long as there's music loving people and people who are into it. That's the
Absolutely,
thing.
absolutely. Um, but I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I it's the weekend, even though
Yeah.
we're in the middle of a pandemic. Um, where if everybody anybody wants to listen to your music and follow you and follow what you got going on, where's the best place for people to do that?
Well, you can find me easiest from mauridark.com. So it's MAURIDARK.com. And in Instagram and Facebook, I'm Mauri Dark Music. So those are the places.
Awesome, perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much for giving us the time to sit down and chat. It's been an absolute blast. Did you have it? Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention before we kind of wrap it up?
No,
No.
thank you so much for this, and hello to everyone in who's listening.
No.
And you can ask me questions later on from my. Do you
Awesome.
have this in Facebook or
Yep.
something
Yep. It's
with the
streaming live
comment?
on Facebook. Um,
Yeah,
but once again, thank you so much for giving us time. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you guys later.
yeah. Thanks. Bye.
All right, we're good. Let me stop this.